November Perennial Planting Guide, your complete climate-based strategy. Most gardeners pack away their tools when November arrives. They assume the growing season has ended completely. But here's something remarkable. November actually offers some of the best opportunities for establishing perennials that will reward you for years to come. The secret lies in understanding your specific growing zone. Your climate determines everything. Some areas still have warm, welcoming soil ready to receive new plants. Other regions deal with frozen ground and harsh conditions. Meanwhile, gardeners in the southern hemisphere celebrate spring's arrival with perfect planting weather. I'm Sam, and I've been helping gardeners succeed at Seniors Gardening Advice for years. Today, I'm revealing the complete November strategy tailored specifically for your location. Whether you're gardening in warm Arizona, rainy Oregon, the prairies of Saskatchewan, or the beaches of Queensland, you'll discover exactly which perennials work best when planted this month. Right now, please subscribe to Seniors Gardening Advice. We publish valuable gardening information every single week. Click that like button if you find this helpful, and definitely share this with fellow gardeners. Your support allows us to continue creating quality content for garden lovers everywhere. Why November works for warm climate gardeners? If you live in zones 8 through 10, you're sitting in a fantastic position. These zones include much of the southern states, places like Alabama, Louisiana, Arizona, and Southern California, along with coastal areas in the UK and Australia. November ranks as one of the absolute best months for adding new perennials to your garden. Your ground still holds warmth gathered from months of sunshine. Natural rainfall provides consistent moisture. The scorching summer heat is finally backed off. Everything combines perfectly for developing deep, healthy root systems. Plants get sufficient time to settle in before any cold weather arrives, which means they'll burst forth in spring already established and ready to flourish.
Number 1. Salvias create spectacular displays. These magnificent plants produce blooms in virtually every color you can imagine. Deep purples, vibrant oranges, soft yellows, bright pinks, and endless combinations in between. They love heat and full sunshine. Planting them in November lets salvias develop strong root networks while soil conditions remain ideal. Place them in locations receiving full sun throughout the day. Provide deep watering once per week during their establishment period. When springtime arrives, they'll reward you with weeks upon weeks of breathtaking color displays. Please hit that like button right now and drop a comment telling us which perennial you're planning to plant this November. We absolutely love hearing from the Seniors Gardening Advice community. Number 2. Heuchera offers continuous interest. Gardeners know these as coral bells, valued for their incredible foliage in shades of bronze, green, burgundy, and deep red. The leaves maintain their stunning appearance even through mild winter months. Heuchera thrives in spots with some shade and prefers moist soil that drains well. Spread mulch around each plant's base to protect roots and keep soil temperature consistent. These beauties provide texture and vibrant color when most other plants have gone dormant for the season. Number 3. Gaura adds graceful motion. Gaura brings elegance and movement into your landscape with delicate star-shaped flowers that dance gracefully whenever breezes blow through. It keeps flowering until hard frost finally arrives and returns more vigorous with each passing year. Work compost into your planting area beforehand, then add bark mulch to retain warmth in the soil. Once Gaura gets established, it needs very little care while providing months of delicate, floating blooms that respond to every whisper of wind. Number 4. Smokebush creates dramatic impact. Cotinus cogagria displays rich purple or burgundy leaves alongside fluffy plumes that capture and reflect light gorgeously. Select a sunny, sheltered spot and maintain regular watering throughout its first full growing season. After roots grow deep and strong, this plant becomes impressively drought-tolerant and needs minimal maintenance, perfect for introducing bold visual interest to any garden setting. Number 5. Verbena brings pollinators running. This hard-working plant continues producing colorful flowers well into December. It flourishes in warm earth with abundant sunlight, attracting bees and butterflies continuously. Position it in full sun areas, clip off faded flowers regularly to encourage more blooms, and enjoy its energetic display with very little effort needed. Number 6. Coreopsis provides cheerful sunshine. Coreopsis offers happy yellow flowers and thrives with almost no attention whatsoever. It prefers lean, fast-draining soil and actually does better without rich fertilization. Set it out during November for extended months of golden cheerfulness, continuing through spring and into summer. These tough characters tolerate neglect surprisingly well, while still delivering impressive flowering displays. Number 7. Daylilies demonstrate true dependability. Very few plants can match the forgiving nature of daylilies. They're colorful, easy to cultivate, and nearly indestructible. Loosen your soil, add compost, and water deeply after positioning them in the ground. They'll establish themselves throughout winter and burst with vibrant color by early summer, producing fresh flowers every single day that naturally replace themselves. Make sure you subscribe to Seniors Gardening Advice if you haven't done so yet. We deliver practical guidance exactly like this every week. Number 8. Tropical climate specialties. Gardeners working in truly tropical or coastal environments, think southern Florida, extreme southern California, or northern Australia, achieve excellent results with lantana, coleus, geraniums, marigolds, and chrysanthemums during November. These choices love the combination of warmth and moisture, providing brilliant color and fascinating texture throughout the entire growing period. They handle high humidity beautifully and frequently outperform traditional perennials under these specific environmental conditions.
Cold climate gardening strategies for November. Gardeners living in places like Wisconsin, Manitoba, or northern Scotland wake up to frost-covered mornings regularly in November. You might not be working with completely frozen ground yet, but worthwhile activities definitely exist. Using container and raised bed systems. When ground becomes cold and waterlogged, redirect your attention toward deep containers or elevated raised beds. These growing systems maintain warmer temperatures and drain considerably better than regular garden soil. Outstanding choices include Heuchera, hardy geranium, Salvia, cover with fleece during freezing nights, and Daylilies. Fill your containers with high-quality potting mix and cover everything with fleece or straw when temperatures fall below freezing. The elevated growing conditions protect root systems from extreme cold while preventing water from collecting around plant crowns, which causes the majority of winter plant deaths in cold regions. Storing bare root plants correctly. Maybe you've purchased bare root peonies, hostas, or delphiniums through mail order. Don't try planting them into frozen or nearly frozen ground. Instead, wrap their root systems carefully using damp peat moss or sawdust. Keep these wrapped plants in a frost-free garage or storage shed. They'll stay dormant and healthy until early spring brings appropriate planting weather. This storage approach prevents root damage and guarantees vigorous growth when proper planting time finally comes. Hardy perennials for freezing weather. Some perennials actually flourish despite freezing conditions. Sedum, commonly called stonecrop, Helleborus, known as Christmas rose, ajuga, bugleweed, and Heuchera continue developing robust root systems underground even when surface soil freezes completely solid. Apply generous mulch layers, approximately 5 to 8 centimeters of dried leaves or shredded bark to insulate them through winter. This protective covering moderates temperature fluctuations in the soil and prevents frost heaving that can literally push plants out of the ground. Please share this video with anyone who enjoys gardening. Sharing genuinely helps Seniors Gardening Advice reach more gardeners who need exactly this information.
Emphasizing preparation work. For many cold zone gardeners, November means preparation activities rather than actual planting. Remove all weeds completely, break up any compacted soil areas, incorporate abundant compost, and cover garden beds with protective mulch. This prevents soil erosion and frost damage. When spring eventually arrives, your garden soil will be perfectly ready for immediate planting without requiring additional preparation work. Starting seeds indoors early. Begin growing hardy perennials indoors beneath grow lights or positioned beside sunny windows. Lavender, echinacea, Coreopsis, and Rudbeckia, black-eyed Susan, all work excellently for indoor starting. By the time spring weather becomes stable, your seedlings will have developed strong root systems and be completely prepared for outdoor transplanting. This method gives you a substantial head start on the growing season ahead. Location-specific growing strategies worldwide. Growing zones across the United States. Gardeners in zones 8 to 10 can freely plant salvias, heucheras, daylilies, and coreopsis directly outdoors. Those in zones 4 to 7 should focus on hardy perennial varieties and container planting techniques. Zones 2 to 3 require storing bare rootstock safely, preparing soil for spring planting, and starting seeds indoors under protection. Knowing your precise zone makes all the difference in achieving November success. United Kingdom growing methods. British gardeners can continue planting hardy perennial types including verbena, hellebores, salvias, and heucheras throughout November. However, avoid planting immediately following heavy rainfall when soil becomes completely waterlogged. Wait for drier weather to ensure proper drainage and healthy root establishment. Waterlogged conditions lead to root rot and complete plant failure, so exercising patience pays dividends. Canadian regional variations. British Columbia and Southern Ontario, zones 6 to 8, can continue planting hardy perennials with good success. Meanwhile, colder prairie provinces and eastern areas, zones 3 to 5, should emphasize soil preparation and indoor seed starting. Canada's enormous size creates dramatically different growing conditions across various regions, so understanding your local zone becomes absolutely critical for November gardening achievements. Australian spring planting. Australia experiences November as late spring, your absolutely perfect planting window. Set out salvias, coreopsis, daylilies, and verbena right now for spectacular summer flowering. Water early each morning and spread mulch generously to retain moisture as temperatures increase. Australian gardeners enjoy unique November advantages that Northern Hemisphere gardeners won't experience until spring arrives.
Universal November principles for all gardeners. Warm zone methods. Direct outdoor planting works wonderfully in prepared soil. Concentrate on salvias, gora, coreopsis, and daylilies for dependable results. Take full advantage of warm soil temperatures while they remain available. Cold zone techniques. Utilize containers and raised beds for planting Heuchera, sedum, and hellebores. These elevated growing environments overcome frozen ground problems while still allowing productive November planting activities. Freezing climate priorities. Prepare soil completely and start seeds indoors with lavender, echinacea, and coreopsis. Build a solid foundation for spring success through November preparation efforts. Tropical zone advantages. Plant flowering perennials such as lantana, geranium, and coleus that flourish in warmth and humidity. These regions offer special November benefits that other climates simply cannot provide. Matching your gardening work precisely to your climate zone places complete control of November success directly in your hands. Working alongside nature instead of fighting against it produces far better results with less effort needed. Critical November gardening principles. Soil preparation determines future success. Regardless of your climate zone, proper soil preparation decides future outcomes. Well-prepared earth drains correctly, holds nutrients effectively, and encourages robust root development. Break up all compacted areas thoroughly. Mix in generous quantities of organic compost. Test drainage by digging a hole, filling it completely with water, and watching how quickly it drains away. Good drainage prevents most common plant difficulties. Mulch delivers multiple advantages. Quality mulch regulates soil temperature, preserves moisture, suppresses weed emergence, and gradually decomposes to improve soil structure. Spread mulch around plants, but keep it from touching stems and crowns directly. Use organic materials such as shredded bark, wood chips, or dried leaves. These materials break down slowly while providing all the benefits mentioned. Mulch represents one of the simplest yet most powerful gardening practices available. November watering guidelines. Newly planted perennials require consistent moisture to establish strong roots. Water deeply but less often rather than shallow daily sprinkling.
Deep watering encourages roots to grow downward, seeking moisture, creating more drought-resistant plants over time. In cold climates, water earlier in the day so leaves dry before nighttime temperatures fall. In warm climates, early morning watering reduces water loss to evaporation and provides plants moisture for the complete day. Learning about hardiness zones. Your hardiness zone shows the average coldest winter temperature for your region. Understanding this number helps you choose plants that will survive winter in your specific location. Zone maps exist for most countries worldwide. Find your zone by searching online for hardiness zone map plus your country name. This knowledge eliminates guesswork and prevents spending money on plants that cannot survive your winters. Give this video a thumbs up right now and leave a comment sharing your gardening zone. We at Seniors Gardening Advice love building a community of gardeners helping each other achieve success. November gardening tips for seniors. Companion planting. When planning November plantings, consider which plants grow well together. Some combinations boost growth, naturally repel pests, or create visually appealing displays. Salvias pair well with ornamental grasses. Heuchera thrives beneath taller perennials, and daylilies complement spring bulbs that finish blooming early. Thoughtful pairings make gardens both beautiful and functional. Planning ahead. Use November's slower pace to plan future garden improvements. Sketch layouts, research new varieties, and order seeds or plants for early spring delivery. Careful forethought ensures a garden that outperforms one created impulsively. Microclimates. Observe your garden's microclimates, areas that differ in sunlight, warmth, or moisture. South-facing walls stay warmer. Low spots may retain cold and moisture. Position plants according to these conditions for optimal growth. Hardy perennials. Hardy geraniums create ground coverage and come in pink, purple, blue, or white, establishing well before winter. Penstemon attracts hummingbirds with tubular flowers and develops strong roots when planted in November, ensuring early spring blooms and reliable yearly performance. Fertilizing. Avoid heavy fertilization in November. Plants focus on root development, not top growth. Incorporate well-aged compost to provide gentle nutrients. Save stronger fertilizers for spring when active growth resumes. Wind and water protection. Protect new perennials from wind with temporary windbreaks, especially in exposed areas. Ensure proper drainage to prevent root rot. Use raised beds, sand, or organic matter if soil is waterlogged. Never plant in saturated soil. Local knowledge. Learn from local gardens and experienced gardeners. Visiting botanical gardens or public plantings gives insight into what thrives in your area. Local wisdom saves time, money, and effort. Record keeping. Keep a simple journal of November activities, noting what you plant, where, and under what conditions. Over time, this record helps identify patterns, successes, and areas for improvement. Timing and weather. Monitor local weather carefully. Protect plants during unexpected freezes with frost cloths or move containers to sheltered spots. Quick responses improve plant survival. Root development. November planting allows plants to develop strong root systems before winter dormancy or spring growth, resulting in healthier, more vigorous plants that outperform spring-planted specimens. Avoid common mistakes. Don't plant tender perennials in cold zones, ignore drainage issues, or plant in overly wet soil. Mulch protection and careful timing are essential. Matching actions to your local conditions is more important than following rigid schedules. Final advice. November work lays the foundation for future beauty, enjoyment, and satisfaction. Perennials planted now will return year after year, stronger and more impressive each season. Subscribe to Seniors Gardening Advice for weekly tips, share with fellow gardeners, and comment with your November questions. Start your November gardening now, adapt to your unique climate, and create a lasting, thriving garden.